That's right. This is Bad Weather Fans, episode number 62. Mike Biseglia, Alex Benesowitz, and the NBA regular season has come to an end. The NBA playoffs right around the corner. We don't yet know some of the matchups. We don't know who the Nets are playing. We do know who the Knicks are playing. The Nets finished as the 2 seed. They will take on either the Washington Wizards or the Boston Celtics, while the New York Knicks clinched the 4th seed, home court advantage, and they will play the Atlanta Hawks. We still don't know, though, is it Saturday, is it Sunday, the timing of things, but both fan bases now ready to rock, get to the playoffs, and we'll talk Nets, but I got to say, Alex, we'll start with the Knicks. When we started this podcast, Bad Weather Fans, when the season started, and I said, hey, Alex, here's the deal. The Knicks are going to be the 4 seed, have home court advantage, and they'll be playing the Atlanta Hawks in the first round. Your response would have been blank.
You're nuts. Exactly. And if you put on top of it, Julius Randle would be an MVP candidate, right? Then it'd be like, that's the craziest thing of them all, because we basically thought it was a foregone conclusion he was getting traded. And we're just like, I was sitting there mad, like, how do you draft Obi Toppin and not trade Julius Randle? And now we're in this weird situation where Julius Randle is like the man. He is like the guy. He is the Messiah. He has come to save the Knicks fans, and he has saved the organization and turned it around, because without him playing like this, they are nowhere. And that's why he is a legitimate MVP candidate. And I don't understand why people could even disagree at this point. He's first team All NBA at the very least. It just doesn't make any sense.
NBA at the very least.
He does. The Knicks are nothing without him. Nothing. Take him off the team. Take him off the team. And what are they? I know you can take a star off of any team and they drop dramatically.
Not the Nets.
Not the Nets. Exactly. Not the Nets. But he is like the engine. He is everything. He makes it tick. He sets an example for the younger players. RJ, if this team was not if this team didn't have Julius Randle, RJ Barrett would be having a nice season, but people would still look at him as a bust. If Julius Randle is not on this team, we don't even know where we would be as an organization right now. It would be another wasted year. Oh, let's see Cade Cunningham. Let's see what we can get in the draft lottery. And you have this guy standing up holding our card, and it's the memes and the jokes and the banners and the this and the that. And it would have been the same fucking shit that we've been dealing with for the years.
Now, to be fair, I don't have off the top of my head, who will be the guy, but you're telling me he's going to be first team All NBA?
I mean, how can you be an MVP candidate and be really, let me say that he's an MVP candidate and be like, that means like, so your top, what would you say top MVP candidate would be what? Top 5 in the voting?
It's such a weird season because of what happened. Like Embiid got hurt. Then Harden got hurt, and those were 2 of the guys. Like right now, it seems like
LeBron got hurt. Yeah.
LeBron got hurt. AD got hurt. Not that he was, I guess, the MVP conversation, but LeBron certainly was. So all of these guys started to fall, and that helped his case and made it.
And he stayed healthy. He missed random games here and there, maybe 3 the whole season. You know what I mean?
Like
40 minutes, right? At 40 minutes a night, and he is the engine. He is the entire organization right now.
Agreed.
How is that not most valuable player? I don't know. You know what I mean? That just doesn't make any sense. Like, how are you not first team All NBA if that is who you are? You know what I mean? He's going to win he already won most improved player. That's going away. Like, that's not even a competition.
No, absolutely. I'll call myself a fraud. I don't know who the guy is off the top of my head, but when you said it, it was just jarring to be like Julius,
right?
First team,
but like,
okay.
I don't know. We just got to kind of look at the All-Star team. Let's look at the All-Star team.
Bring it up. Now I want to figure this out. See,
okay.
Because I figure it out.
Roster.
Right. Okay, if you weren't an All-Star, you're probably not making All NBA.
Right. Okay. So we have Kevin Durant. I don't know if he played enough games. No. LeBron James. I don't know if he played enough games. LeBron also. He was out for a while. So I don't know.
I mean, it's LeBron, so I think that's just a bias factor, which will hurt
Giannis
him.
Is in. Giannis will be in. So that's
Giannis is ahead of him.
So do they do small forward, power forward, center, or they just?
I think it's
forwards?
2 guards, 2 forwards in the center.
Center.
So Giannis,
Giannis
I'm being objective and fair. Giannis is going to get the nod.
Well, Luka is probably, or Luka is probably the one, unless they list him as a guard. I don't know what he's listed as. So Luka is going to be the difficult one. That is going to be the one that they might.
Too. Now we're trolling the Mavs together. How about that?
Right. Look at us. Yeah. So there's nobody else. I mean, we got like Paul George. We got Zion. He got hurt. Tatum is not at all first teamer. You got Sabonis. No.
Tatum could do it.
Tatum. You think?
I know the Celtics were garbage.
He's just the darling of the NBA.
But he's he could.
26 points a game. Yeah.
I'm being real. I'm saying listen to this, and I know Knicks fans would be pissed, and they get on their mobile devices and wreak havoc. But if Jason Tatum got it, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not saying I necessarily agree with that, but I'm just saying this is not. It's a foregone conclusion that he has it over Jason Tatum. Tatum was having a hell of a season. The Celtics just suck.
Yeah, and Kawhi Leonard's another one. Kawhi. So I don't know, but it's just so hard for me to like. I know I'm not like I said that without really doing the research, just being like I'm putting him in the MVP conversation. So in my mind, how is he not an All NBA? But two of the people above him in MVP voting could be Giannis and Luka, and then there you go, and that's what that's the people, So I don't know. That's just it's going to be interesting. It's going to be really. If he's not second team all NBA, then there's a problem. You know what I mean? Then there's something going on. Then you got the biased tweets will come flying through your timeline again. We'll use it as motivation, though. The best thing that ever happened to the Knicks, though, for RJ Barrett was Terrence Davis last year. Terrence Davis getting the second team all rookie over RJ Barrett fueled him throughout the whole pandemic.
And I still have T Davis. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't even want.
Where is he?
I don't even want to talk about the Nets. Like, I just want to talk about this damn tweet or this damn comment from Durant. I am in. So Durant was asked.
Do you want to play it? Or we don't need to play it, right?
We don't need to play it. We don't need to.
People saw it. You saw it
8,000 fucking times.
Yeah.
And asking about the three having chemistry and whatnot. And he goes, "We have a big 15." Okay. I am stunned by the amount of anger from the Knicks fans towards that. That shocked me. Yeah, I thought it was a little bit of a dig, but I cannot.
A little bit. It was a 100% dig. 100% deep dig. It was a dig on purpose.
But I didn't think it was that big of a dig. It's kind of like it just got a little bit in the dirt. I am stunned by how upset that got Knicks fans. Like, completely shocked by it.
It goes back to everything since the Nets came to Brooklyn. It's the deep-rooted thing. You come in, you're talking shit at the press conference. You come in, you put up the billboard. You come in, like, we're not even talking about you until you start talking shit. And then we talk shit back, then you get upset. And then you're in a playoff game in 2019. I say it all the time. You put Charles Oakley on the big screen. Why? Oh, I don't know why. Maybe because he just got carried out of the Garden drunk as hell a couple months before that. You know what I mean? It's just like there's all this kind of crap, and you're constantly piling on. And the Knicks are just sitting here happy with the 4 seed, and then you have to come and get rid of and like take a shot. And you see Durant at the press conference. He says he wasn't even asked a question about and it had nothing to do with the Knicks. When Reggie Bullock and Julius Randle were asked the question, they were going to play the Nets maybe the next day, or they just played them. I don't remember. And Berman, of course, of the Post, asked the question. So they got a big 3 and something, and they both just start laughing like, dude, what are you asking me right now? You know what I mean? And they're like, we have a, and then Julius Randle goes, we have a big 15. You have a big 15. And then they lost to the Nets in that game that with the terrible call at the end when the ball was dislodged, but the ref didn't see it because he was behind Julius Randle, but he made the call anyway. But anyway, I'm over it. And then after that, they used the big 15 because the Knicks they got mocked for that, and that was their rallying cry. They won like 80 to 90% of their games the rest of the season, and at the end of the season, you just clinched the 2 seed. Somebody asks you about the big 3, about your friends Kyrie and James, and you just said take a shot at the Knicks. Like, what the hell do we have to do with you right now? Why are you trying to inject yourself into our happiness? Stay the fuck away from mind your fucking business.
It wasn't trying to inject. It wasn't trying to.
Oh, it was.
And
he knew exactly what he was doing.
I just look at the Knicks fan on Twitter after seeing this, and I'm like, man, I thought you guys had thick skin. I was a little surprised by it, honestly. Like, a lot of good people, a lot of good Knicks fans, and then some people, and I won't mention names, like getting really nasty about it. And I was like,
well, that's come on.
That kind of stuff annoyed you? I don't know. I always just respected the Knicks fan and thought maybe it was just I didn't think that would get them that riled up. And it just showed me. I was like, wow, the Net fan really kind of pissed the Knicks fan off a little bit. And I got off on it, to be completely honest with you. Once I learned how mad the Knicks fan got, then I was like, wow. Okay.
Well, because what do we have to do? Why are you taking a shot at us? What did we do? Nobody said anything about the Knicks.
Well, he took a shot originally with his big 15 comment.
Well, because he was asked a direct question about the Nets. Kevin Durant just beat the Cavs. He got to the 2 seed and ousted the Bucks in the standings. And he's thinking about the Knicks and taking a shot at the Knicks. Are you jealous? Are you jealous that we're getting more attention than you, Kevin? Are you? Because it seems that way.
No,
it seems that way that you have that. We're on your mind after you get the 2 seed. Why are we on your mind? Why are you even thinking about us? Why do you even care? Why are we even in your brain if we're irrelevant, if we're not cool? We're not the cool team. Why are you talking about us then? Because you know that we're getting all the attention that you wish you were getting, you thought you were getting when you went to Brooklyn, because you didn't see this team coming and nobody did. And meanwhile, we have captured the hearts. This Knicks team has captured the hearts of New York City, and that's why they're getting all the attention. They're top billing, and that's why I put it in my tweet at top billing, and that pisses you off. But that's fun stuff between us.
And it's just like I understand their top.
It got me. It's just like, what is your problem?
But see, I
the Knicks celebrate.
I loved it because, and it brings it back to where I started from before. It's because the Knicks fan always thinks they have this territory, and they don't know what to do when somebody bites back at them. They're like, "What did we have to do with this?"
Bite back? No, we weren't biting at them. We weren't biting at them
for 50 years and stroking everybody's ego about how great we are, and that. Kevin
Durant's not even 50 years old.
Unable to handle a little fight back, and the sensitivity just boils to the top of the pot. It's like, you know what? In 94, in 95, in 96, all of this stuff with John Starks. Oh, we were so great. We had this team, this rivalry. And then it's like the Nets come and they little chip, and the Knicks fan doesn't know how to deal with it. And they get overly sensitive and fired it off. We're in your heads.
It just made no sense. It just made no sense. You're not biting back at anything. Nothing happened. The Knicks celebrated the 4 seed, and they didn't mention the Nets. Did anybody mention the Nets? Fine, but did anybody mention the Nets? Did anybody mention the Nets after the Knicks won? The Knicks won, got the 4 seed. Everybody's celebrating. Did anybody mention anything about the Brooklyn Nets?
Locally?
Indirectly or directly?
What are you talking about? Like Knicks fans, the media?
Knicks players, Knicks organization, Knicks players. Did anybody mention anything about the Nets?
I don't think so. I don't think I heard anything.
Exactly. So it's not a bite back. It's a bite forward. You're trying to take a shot at us because you're jealous. He is jealous. He is. He's totally jealous.
Well, jealous of what?
Jealous of the Knicks' attention, that nobody gives a shit about him doing what he's doing, and it's bringing that out of me because you know what, I've been giving nothing but respect to the Nets ever since they got James Harden. I'm like, This team is fucking incredible. Like they're the best team in the NBA. You're the best team in the NBA. You got your way. You run the freaking organization, and you're worried about Julius Randle saying Big 15 and running the Knicks and being the top dog. Like, what are you worried about? Why are you worried about us?
Whatever fuels him.
Why do you care?
Whatever fuels him to win a championship is awesome. And you know what? It is annoying. I mean, fuck it. It is annoying. It is annoying when you're coming in here and you're doing this, and then the Knicks have a good season, and everybody and all of the Knicks fans have to come out and tell everybody how big their dick is. Like, it's annoying. It really is. It is annoying. So I guess, you know what? I could understand from his shoes if that's where he was going with it. He got annoyed by it, and he wanted to bite back, and he wanted to show his anger off from that little comment. If that's what got him going, fuck it, fine. It is annoying. It is annoying.
For 2 months, he's been holding on to this for 2 months.
I don't
grow up.
I don't think it's as big as a deal. I don't think it's as big as a deal. Knicks fans are making it a bigger deal to them because of their pent up aggression and anger that has come from what you talked about, the Charles Oakley thing, the billboards, in the past, and all of this. So I don't think for Durant, it's a bigger deal for the Knicks fan than it was for Durant. Durant's probably doing it knowing exactly what's about to happen, knowing that you're going to get at Nick, whatever, commenting and quoting him and being like rent free, with all the other comments. So I think it's a culmination of that. And I'm having fun with you. And I understand the Knicks are the big dog. They're playing great. And I as a Nets fan, I wanted to see this be the Nets year and all of it and all the dominance. And it just didn't happen in the sense that the Knicks are good. And I have to accept that. I have to completely accept it. And it is what it is. But I do get a little bit of joy, to be completely honest, seeing the Knicks fans so upset with the Nets. That makes me happy because, and I've mentioned it before, that never would have happened 7 to 25 years ago. Now, maybe they call Durant sensitive, whatever it is, he got under the Knicks skins. He got under the Knicks fan skin. He did.
And you know what? It got me there when I didn't want to be there anymore, where I'm saying nobody cares about the Nets. Because you send me these tweets, is somebody random reporter will make a joke and nobody cares about that. And I'm like, that's so corny. Nobody cares about the Nets jokes. They're so corny. Like, who cares at this point? They're here. They're a great team. They're a super team. Why are we talking trash to them? Fun banter back and forth, fine. Trolling, whatever. But like, what are these jokes? Nobody cares and nobody noticed. They were out the 2 seed and nobody knows. Like, who gives a shit? Like, Kevin Durant doing that makes me want to do that. And that's the thing that he's trying to do. He's trying to inject himself back into my brain, all Knicks fans, the collective Knicks fan brain, and trying to get it back into that conversation and steal some of the shine from the Knicks. And luckily, like, I was listening to, I was not really luckily because who really cares, but I was listening to the Fan and different, TV and whatever. I didn't notice anybody really mention it because I don't think anybody really got it. Like Kevin Durant, when he said it at the press conference, all the reporters are kind of like, huh? It was kind of like an open mic night and like some new up and coming comedian bombed. Like everybody's like, what? Like, what are you fucking talking about, dude? Like, is that supposed to be funny? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
So it was very awkward. It was just kind of like, you've been holding on to this joke for 2 months and this is the best you did. Like, and nobody even asked you a question about the Knicks. What do they have to do with anything? That's what annoyed me. And it's like, I don't want to play who has more fans because we know I don't want to play that stupid game anymore. But when he does shit like this, that makes me fight back and say the things that I do. And
I'm learning from this. And I was surprised that got the Knicks fans so upset. And I hear where you're coming from and that makes sense. But I still am stunned that got the Knicks fan that riled up. I was surprised by that. I heard that. I was like, that was silly. Okay. And then I was like, wait a minute. Whoa, all these, like, I was like, went on Twitter, it was like blast.
Right.
I was
you got all the Knicks fans following you now, and you see all the Knicks fans.
Yeah,
you're injected into Knicks Twitter
everybody. I have to say, I think that was your best 15, 20 minutes. That was very entertaining. I was like, holy shit, that was nice stuff.
I got upset.
Is it weird to bring that up in the middle of the episode?
No, that's all right. I mean, listen.
I thought that was great.
It got me mad. It's the kind of shit that got me mad a couple years ago when the Nets were like getting the culture team and everybody's like, like patting the Nets on the back for every little thing they did. Oh my God, can you believe they got a draft pick that worked out? Like, who gives a shit?
What's so annoying to me, Alex, is because this year's Nets team is another culture team, but nobody brings it up.
No.
Now all they bring up is the other stuff. Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, James Harden. They don't bring up the fact that, like, this team's chemistry is through the roof good. You don't have this many injuries and this many issues and not win that many games. They have been such a good unit, and they do the same things that the Knicks have done as well with the celebrations, the being happy. But nobody talks about that because it's all about the superstars. And I understand that's the deal now, and that's the deal with it. But they make it easy. Still a culture team.
They make it easy for people to crack on them. I mean, Kyrie disappears. He talks about situations in other countries that he has no business talking about. He has no idea what he's talking about. He talks about Kevin Durant. Like, he just like says all this random shit. Like, I mean, this is like James Harden, like gets himself out of Houston by acting like he was fatter than what he really was. You know what I mean? It's just like all these things. They're just like not a likable bunch. So it's not like the fun bunch like the 2019 Nets were. You know what I mean? It's not like,
but if you watch them,
vagabond little guys all together, like the Bad News Bears or some shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
if you watch them every day, though, they have ultimate good chemistry, and they're like a good group of dudes to watch. But from the exterior, from the outside, and I get I'm in my Nets bubble, and I'm gonna like who I like, and I'm gonna root for my team,
of course.
And I respect Kyrie if he has to have opinions on things that he wants to get into. I mean, obviously he's got to play basketball. He's got to be there. That's his job. He's got to be there. He can be a basketball player and still have opinions. I mean, I'm a big fan of thinking that people should be allowed to have their rights of what they think of. But it's one thing if you're like, I'm not into basketball, I don't want to show up. I do think part of it is like when he's on the court, he's been awesome. The guy fucking had a 50, 40, 90 season. That's hard to do.
For sure. Really it's hard to do.
But it's so funny to me because I've heard this argument about Kyrie, and I love this. They're going, man, Kyrie's got his issues. He's got that. And then people win the argument. I heard somebody say this. You don't want the Kyrie. He's done this. I mean, it's been a rough season for him. And they go, but he did have his best year of his career. I go, wait a minute.
Yeah.
He had the best year of his career, but you're just telling me about how bad he was? Yeah, when he was missing games, that was awful. That was sucked. It was personal that he wasn't there. But he had a season where he shot 50% from the field, 40 from three, 90% from the foul line, and was awesome on the court. When he plays, he was dominant.
Right. And it's funny that everybody was doing that. And this is how my brain works, right? I'll take you in the mind of me at Nick Central, right, on Twitter. This is when I see somebody say 50, 40, 90. Can you believe it? It's incredible. So my mind goes, how many fucking games did he even play? I'm like, come on, like, what the hell? So I look it up. All right, he played 52 games, right? Is that about right? 52 games. Then I do the math. I go to my calculator app. I was like, that's not that much. And I'm like, oh, that's 75% of the games this season. I guess that's pretty good.
And
like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just because our minds, our mind is like our basketball minds are out of whack. We're so used to 82 games and the amount of wins, and like we're not like really in, so it's like you see 52, you're like, oh, that's not that many games, but then you're like, oh wait, that's actually a lot of games.
And it's like 25 points per game doing it.
Right.
He's taking shots. It's not like someone is scoring 8 points per game. Like if Joe Harris were to do it, he didn't. But it's like that'd be a little different based on the volume of shots you're getting from Kyrie. He's he's
taking 20
shooter.
shots a game, right? Like he's taking like 15, 20 shots a game, easy, right? I don't know.
Yeah, no, ebb and flow of a game, but he's taking a lot of shots. Yeah, no, I think boiling at the top. I hear you. I hear what you're saying about the Durant thing. I didn't as I'll reiterate. I was surprised by how much anger that caused the Knicks fan, but I will say for me, it was interesting to hear that and learn that and get more into this idea of it. And I'm fucking around a little bit with like saying I liked what is it. I mean, I'm just having fun with you here and kind of enjoying the banter. But I was surprised by that. But I think I learned a lot about how the Knicks fan feels about the Nets.
Right. No, and it's just we're sitting here happy. We're just like, I'm on top of the world. They won this game. They gave us a little scare on Sunday. All these like nobodies on the Celtics start like nailing threes. They're hanging around. My nervous meter was going up and down. I'm just like, what is happening right now? And they won. And we're just excited. And it's just like it all came out. I put out a tweet like, I'm not satisfied with being here, but like just take a second and let's just like think about this season, man. Like this is like the most incredible, unexpected season in the history of the franchise. Like they've been around since the 40s, the 50s, right? It's just like the 50s, right? The history of the franchise. I can't even wrap my head around saying that. And that's true. It's not even like, I'm exaggerating. Like, this is incredible. Let's just take a moment and just enjoy this. And somebody's like, no, we're not done yet. And I'm like, listen, I have a week to get back into playoff mode and get nervous. I just want to step back. I'm 36 years old. I just want to this doesn't happen all the time. It's been 8 years. And before that, it was 10 years, 12 years, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, just let me enjoy this. You know what I mean? On these rides, like the Jets AFC Championship games. After that second one, I looked at my dad. I said, this is not going to happen for a while again. And like, I was right. And we laugh about that sometimes. It's just like these teams, it doesn't happen like the Jets, Mets, and Knicks. Like, I just want to enjoy myself. And then I get on Twitter later that day. Oh, Nets won. Oh, good for them. Whatever. They got the 2 seed. I texted you, congrats. Like, we're talking, whatever. And then I see it. I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me?
You texted me. They've got the win. I said, what you did? I said, well, they're only up like 8 in the second. You're like, they won.
And you were like, you were me, whatever. I was nervous about beating the Celtics. You're like, they were gonna win. Don't worry about it. And
I was almost wrong. Oof.
Yeah, that was close. But I'm just saying, Knicks fans collectively, we were just happy. And we're just like, oh, man, this is great. Whatever. Like, can you believe this? We're the 4 seed. Let's take a picture of the standings and frame it on the wall. Like, this is like incredible. Like, we're not celebrating being a 4 seed, but it's just the fact that this season was just so fun. We're going to remember the season for the rest of our lives.
Well, you are celebrating that they are the 4 seed.
Yes, we're celebrating, but it's not like a championship. It's not like, oh my God, this is what we strive for. It's just like, we got some happiness. The franchise has turned around from where we were to where we are. Right. People are making fun of us now for being happy. And I'll take people making fun of me for being happy. Make fun of me. I'm happy. Fuck you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm happy. Screw yourself.
I like seeing you happy. I like seeing you happy. Yeah. I like seeing you happy. It's like the Net fan 2 years ago that was the 6 seed. It wasn't a world championship, but they got the 6 seed.
The difference. Nets are winning in 2019, talking shit about the Knicks as an organization, ex-players, players on the team, taking shots at the Knicks when they traded Porzingis. Dinwiddie sent out a tweet mocking the Knicks. Oh, everything's fine here with the fire gift.
It's so sensitive to the Nets.
Taking shots. And then the Knicks this year, we're winning. We're not doing shit. We're not saying anything about the Nets. We want to play you. We want to beat you. It's a rivalry.
That's not true at all. The Knicks say so much stuff about
the Knicks organization. No,
not the organization,
not the players, not the organization.
All the time is taking shots.
Of course. No, that's. But I'm saying
the same jokes.
It's the same. I'm saying
crap.
Yeah. All right.
Same crap. The same stuff. What's that?
I said I was getting angry because it's just like I'm talking about like the players in the organization. Not at you. I'm not angry. I'm just saying in general. Like this is what Kevin did to me. This is fucking asshole.
You have to understand from
in a nice way. He's not an asshole.
No, of course not. You have to understand. There is from a Net fan brain, it's just so annoying to see the Knicks winning. It just is. I mean, it's just so annoying. It really
It's
is.
raining on your parade a little bit.
And I would say I think Twitter has changed a lot of that, because if there was no Twitter, I wouldn't maybe
you can shut it off. You can I don't want to read this article. I don't want to see this show.
Twitter has made it way worse, because
for sure.
I never dislike the Knicks now more now than I did ever before. And I think it's because the interaction, and that's why I've enjoyed like getting to know some of the great Knick fans that I've interacted with. They're great people. But when you just get on Twitter and on the surface, and like even something that you would send and I would see that, and then I've like that doesn't mean who you are. And I think that's created a false sense of even my anger towards the Knicks, which is not fair and not healthy. Like, we have these viral videos now of the guy going, F the Nets, F the net. Like, that's stuff that would never.
That makes you smile. That doesn't get you mad, though. That gets you. That
one
makes you
got
happy.
me happy. That one got me happy, because I can't believe the Knicks were even thinking about the Nets. That should be F the Pacers.
Just a bunch of drunk fans. Yeah,
that's true
just
too. That's all I'm saying. And I apologize, Alex. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry I got you mad.
That's all right. Don't worry.
You got me good though on that debate. I feel a little weak about that. I feel like shit.
You're holding the L. You're holding the L. You're just like,
I'll take the L, but I kind of want to take it now. Just admit I got it.
It's okay. I mean, listen.
But I'm glad he said it.
No, it's fine. You want him to say it. You want him to get us pissed, and that makes you guys happy, and that's fine. It's just we're sitting. From my perspective, I'm just happy on top of the world, and all of a sudden I get sucked into this bullshit, and like I'm mad. Like I just want to be fucking happy. Like, can I be fucking happy?
And we can run.
Can I just be happy for a day?
No, no, not a lot. And we can
not
run
allowed.
In circle. We can run in circles. But again, I was just going like, was it that bad? But then again, I'm not the one that you're feeling all of these emotions from the past that the great Knick fan has gone through to get you to that spot. So I understand that.
Right. No, and that's the thing. It's just Twitter world or social media or just the 24/7 news cycle that we live in today, where somebody like LeBron James could be told he sucks because he has a terrible finals record and he's been to the finals 10 times in a row. Like, you LeBron's suck. Right. Like, what? Like, or Giannis stinks because he can't hit a three consistently. Oh, so he sucks now? He's the freaking MVP. Like, what are you talking? Like, you know what I mean? It's just like things like that get spun out of control, and that's the problem with society, to get into a larger picture. Society today.
Now, I'll get into even another one, like anxiety inducing, like even thinking about the Nets losing. It could happen. I mean, there's a really good chance they lose.
Right.
And just the torture that will be on social media. It'll be torture.
What was like being a kid? Like, Jets lose a big game, or the Knicks lose a big game, and I come to school the next day, and you got people teasing you like, "Oh, you told me I got to pay up $5 to someone I bet," and people teasing and this and that. Like, that's like the bus ride you don't want to go on Monday morning after the Jets lose a big game to whoever, and everybody now was talking shit all week. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like Twitter, and you're like, I want to grow up, I don't have to deal with that, shit. But now it's like Twitter, it's the same thing. It's like, but it's instant. It's like you can't even you got a bad loss 15 years ago before Twitter was big, or even if we weren't on Twitter, I wasn't 15 years ago, but you just like, fuck. And you just like shut the TV off. You might curse, scream, yell, get it all out. Then you go out to dinner
or something.
What'd you say?
You put on like Meet the Parents.
Put on some funny movie. Exactly. Yeah. You put on Waterboy, have a good day, and like whatever. You go to work and you talk about it with your friends, and like you're able to, but they're respectful because they're friends and you're adults and this and that. And now it's like, oh, you see, look what you said 3 years ago. It would never happen. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, I don't even remember sending that tweet. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, who cares?
When the Nets lost to the Celtics, I may have said this on this podcast. I can't remember. Probably have, because I repeat myself. I have 7 Net stories. When they lost to the Celtics in Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals, and then the Celtics went up 2-1 in the series. The Nets did win 4-2, but when they went down 2-1, they blew a 21-point lead in the fourth quarter.
Oof.
I mean, I was shaken up after that loss. On a sports fan side, I drove to the Palisades Center Mall and just sat on a bench and just sat on a bench. I was like, I didn't know what to do. I was so depressed.
Yeah, that's rough. No, and that's rough. I mean,
it's not like a real life stuff, and I always like to reference that because I don't want to like. Just you're sports fans, you get it.
Right. And there's a lot of times like after a big Jets loss, like when I was a kid, I'd take that loss until Wednesday. You know what I mean? I'd be like, oh man, like upset and whatever. But as an adult, it's that initial like, fuck, and then like you're just kind of like,
yeah.
decompress. You might be sad. You might not watch a sports show later. You might just like, but it's like you can get over it if you're not on Twitter where people are just like shoving it in your face. You know what I mean? But it's like the worst thing that I've done. Like what? Let me ask you, but I'll say mine. The worst thing I've done when I was angry at a sports moment was Jets Packers a couple of years ago when Geno Smith was starting, and he throws the touchdown pass, and then they call timeout on the sideline to negate the play. Right. And I'm just like, so when we're like, holy crap, what the fuck? And I just took my phone and I freaking tossed it. Like I've never done that before. And I was just like, oh my God, what am I doing? Like I'm an adult. Like, what the hell is wrong with me?
Yeah.
You
have
have
no
any like
memories.
crazy moment like that?
I have no moments of throwing things or, scaring my animal, scaring my pet, good or bad. Yeah, I get more stoic and just freeze. Like anytime something bad, it's just more of just like this. If you're watching this on YouTube, like this,
Mike is being shocked right now,
and it's just that numbing feeling of that just happened. Now the cool part about the playoffs is like even if you have a bad loss, unless it's the end of the series, you always have the next game where you can change things, and you know what happens in these playoffs, and there's going to be so many twists and turns. You win one game, like if Atlanta wins game one or if the Knicks win game one, it feels like you feel like $1 million. And then that they steal the series and like the home court's changed. Now the Hawks have the home court and it's like, like the world's end coming to an end. And it's just like, then you go in game 3 and the Knicks win in Atlanta. Now the home court comes back to the Knicks. It's like, just get the 4. But there's so many twists and turns and so many highs and lows. And after a win, it feels higher than it is. And after a loss, it feels way lower than it really is. Like losses feel worse than wins feel joy. From my experience,
it's a gift and a curse of basketball than compared to baseball playoffs. It's the only comparable sports. Football is like once a week, but like baseball, it's like you're in the playoffs and you're on this long run and you're getting to the World Series, like, Mets a couple times in our life. It's like every day, it's like you're getting, this stress, like, oh my God, every pitch, every inning, you're just like, you know what I mean? And then it's like, at the end of it, you're like, like I can't believe that we got that win. You know what I mean? But like at least basketball, you have like 2 days off. Like you can like get through the stress, and then you're like, all right, I got 2 days to just like let me like relax and like get back and like do something normal with my life. And then like, okay, here we go again. You know what I mean? Baseball is just like a grind. So I would prefer the basketball way, to be honest, than to overanalyze each game, than to have the beaten down baseball playoff feel of just like, oh my God, what am I doing?
I've always said with baseball, like people always complain how boring it is in the regular season. And I've said this, I think as boring as baseball is in that moment of the waiting, the delays, and oh my God,
July 15th, and it's 75, it's 80, 90 million degrees, whatever it is. And
and there's another pitching change, and there's this, and there's that, and they fouled it off. Oh my God, just Walker.
And then they throw it over to first again, and you're just like, throw the freaking pitch. Yeah.
But when you take that and put it in the playoffs, it's like, oh my God, I had to wait another moment. Oh my God, I had to wait another moment. So all that boringness in the regular season transfers into anxiety and waiting in the playoffs for when you're watching
every count. Baseball,
every
count. 3-2. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. You know what I mean? Like it's just like crazy. Everybody's on their feet. Yeah. No, I went to
basketball,
one.
Go ahead, Alex.
No, I was saying I never went to when the Mets were in the playoffs in 2006, I didn't go to a game, and then 2000, I didn't go to a game. So like whenever the wild card in the this and that, I didn't go to a playoff game until 2015. And I went to game 1 of the NLCS when Harvey mowed all the Cubs down, and it was wild, dude. It was freezing cold, but like, and I didn't get up to go to the bathroom. I didn't get any food. I didn't want to miss a pitch. You know what I mean? It was just like everybody was just like Harvey, like the whole game. It was wild, and like that's something that people who don't like baseball like need to go to a playoff game. Like go to a playoff game.
Unbelievable.
Go to one. Just go to one. And it's freezing cold, and baseball in the cold is the worst. Baseball in the cold in May is terrible. Like you don't want to go to that. That's like the worst experience of your life. But baseball in October, when it's like a big playoff game, like
it's fun. That's what got me hooked early too. I went to a lot of Met Braves playoffs when John Rocker was on the mound.
Oh, nice. Throwing batteries at him and from the stands and shit.
Oh, well, I didn't do any of that stuff, but I'll never forget some of that. Like, I mean, that was scary shit. I mean, because of how fucking asshole he was, and just incredibly dickhead racist. I mean,
yeah. Same as someone with green hair on the 7 train and this and that, like
terrible
talking shit.
Dude,
yeah,
whatever.
That was crazy.
It's just the worst. But I remember those games. Again, I don't. This is the first time we'll do this. This will be the last time we do this. Pittsburgh Pirates baseball versus the Cincinnati Reds. Do you remember the Cueto game?
Johnny Cueto?
Pirates hadn't been in
No.
the play. So my wife's a Pittsburgh person. So imagine this, like a Knicks fan can understand this, and any sports fan.
I know Pirates had a long drought. Yes,
They
yes,
went
yeah,
21 years without even being 500. Okay, and then like they were awful. I'm not like they're bad again, but they had this magical season where they got into the playoffs.
McCutcheon, right? And then
Clutch was great, and then Cueto's on the mound, and they're chanting Cueto, and he drops the baseball, and it was like,
we got him.
I mean, what a moment! But that's again like just that anticipation, and I'll bring it back to the Knicks, just the excitement of going to the Garden. What I saw maybe $1,000 for a ticket.
Well, yeah, but I don't know how they can say. I don't know how. Like I've been trying to. I want to go to the game, and me and two of my friends were trying to get tickets. We're like, where can we go tickets? It's not on sale, and this and that. So I'm talking to a ticket rep, and I'm trying to see what I can do. And they're giving priority to people who have deposits down for next season or season tickets now to get tickets. But then Dolan. But then Dolan talked to Cuomo today, or they had a press conference, and Dolan said that they might open capacity up to 50% and have vaccinated sections or something like that. So I don't know how they can say ticket prices are $1,000 right now because we don't even know how many tickets are going to be available. And I'll tell you, I'm not paying $1,000 to go sit upstairs. That's ridiculous because, I mean, I'll pay a few hundred to go to the game just to be in the building for game one, but there's got to be a line somewhere. I'm not rich. You know what I mean? And even if I was, I think that's like ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Maybe like game 7 of the finals or something.
Right. But can you imagine if it's $1,000 for game 1 of the first round, what it will be for game 7 of the finals? Yeah, for bad seats. I'd rather just watch it at home with like a bunch of friends and have a party or go to a bar.
It's ridiculous too. Like the net prices, because they're just gouging people with the players they have. I almost see that. Not only I could say this, I'm a Nets fan, but it's just like, dude, you're the Nets. What the fuck are you doing?
Right.
Nice.
You're in Brooklyn. Like, it's not
you're
Manhattan.
in Brooklyn now.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
No, I mean, it's like the lesser borough. It should be cheaper, even though it's not really that much cheaper now.
Yeah, seriously. Brooklyn might be more expensive. I don't know. We'll get into some of that stuff.
It's more expensive with less of the convenience. That's what I don't understand. That's why I always laugh. Go ahead. Yeah, that's a stupid rant. You don't need to know
Brooklyn.
that.
Brooklyn's a great area.
No, well, my fiance and I, we always joke
about
about people who live in like Long Island City and Queens or in like Brooklyn, like Williamsburg, and they're paying all this money for an apartment, but you don't even live in the city. Like you might as well just live in the city. Like you're spending all this money and you have all of the inconvenience of living in the city, but you're not in the city. You don't have the convenience of, I can just walk to work when the world isn't normal. You know what I mean? Like you don't have the convenience of taking a taxi right to a bar, walking home. I don't have to walk across a bridge. You know what I mean? Like,
if I lived in Brooklyn, I don't think I would go to Manhattan. I would just stay in Brooklyn. There's so much to do there. I would just stay there.
Right.
And if I guess I had to visit you or something, but that'd be it.
But you don't have to. I mean, it's okay. You can stay in Brooklyn. It's fine.
Oh man, no, seriously, Brooklyn is probably. I mean, holy shit! All this area is just the worst.
It's crazy. I mean, it's out of control.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, well, we'll hear about it. Yeah, the 6,000 fans Knicks. That equals 19,000 Cavs fans.
It is. Every one Knick fan is equal to 10 other fans.
I'd agree with that.
As far as their voice is concerned. I don't think the Knicks pumping fake crowd noise either. I think it's kind of legit. I think I'm just thinking off the top of my head. No, I don't. I don't think so. I just think it's that was because they had nobody there, and it's like, why? How is this coming from? Like,
I know they're pumping the fake noise. Oh,
they had pandemic crowds before a pandemic. You know what I mean?
I know they were ahead of the curve there. The 90s Nets, they'd had this meter that would go up, and I'm like, what the fuck is this happening? It's just me and my dad.
Oh, the noise meters? As a kid, I used to think that was real. I'd be like, right,
exactly.
And then like one time I got caught. It was going up, and the crowd wasn't like looking at it. And then I was like, it's fake. Like, you know what I mean? As a kid,
oh my god,
I cracked the code.
Yeah, the noise meter. I bet you everybody listening to this podcast had a noise meter moment when that. Noise meter.
It's like Santa Claus.
Well, I guess.
Well, it could be real.
You don't do that. But I
don't know.
Like
I'm Jewish. Santa Claus. Santa Claus.
It's the golden rule on radio. It's like you don't
don't mention Santa Claus.
You don't want to. I don't know.
We just ruined some kid's life who was listening to this podcast. If somebody's
listening to this and they're 6, fine. But like if you're listening on the radio and you're like 90, a FM station and you're playing music and you said something like that, I mean that's horrible.
Yeah,
you can't do that.
You just ruined some parents' weekend where the kid's crying all weekend. You mean it's not true? It's not this? Yeah, no, I know.
Fuck, I have to go to Macy's and get more shit now. Whatever.
Well, yeah, it would be kind of awkward to go sit on Santa's lap now that you know that he's fake.
Oh my God. I can't believe we went here on this podcast.
Now we're on Santa Claus. We started to see Kevin Durant might be Santa Claus. You don't even know. It's possible. He gave us the
Knicks in
content
the
for
playoffs, and we're talking about Santa Claus for really timely in the middle of May. You know,
so what is your thoughts?
Covered here.
What's your thoughts? What's your series prediction for the Knicks?
I'm not doing that shit. Fuck that.
Come on, give it to me.
That. No, hell no.
Just the Knicks. I'm not asking for the Nets.
I'll give you the Knicks one, but I won't do the Nets.
Okay, so give me the Knicks one, and I'll do the Net one.
Hawks in 4. Do the Knicks get a game? I don't know. I'm not doing a prediction. I'm not doing that.
You know what it is? Everybody, when nobody knows what they want to pick, everybody picks 6. 6 is the golden number, the easy one. Like, I'll go with Knicks in 6. And like, it's just like 6 is always the number where it's like, you don't want to say 5, that's disrespect. 6 is like, they'll make it a series, but ultimately the Knicks will prevail. And that's like the typical basketball analyst guy speak or girl. So it's just kind of like,
I'll tell you the one I hate is a series doesn't start until a road team wins.
Oh my God.
Because my thought is you got to get to 4 games.
I hate that so much.
Who gives a shit where the game is? If you get the win, you get the win. Like, they didn't do anything. They just protected their home court. No, they won their games. They only need 2 more. I hate that. That drives me nuts.
Mm-hmm.
That drives me crazy. It's like, oh, yeah, they did what they were supposed to do. It's like, yeah, well, I mean.
Well, they split the first 2, so it's anybody's series. It was anybody's series before the first.
It drives me nuts. Matter. The whole goal is to get the 4 wins.
Just don't blow it. Yeah.
This has been.
But you know what? We got to see. Oh, go ahead. Go.
No, I just want to call out my dad on something. He listens.
Oh, shit.
Podcast. No, it's all good. So every year he asks me the same question, and every year I'm like, Dad, this has been in effect since 2003.
Oh, first round.
He goes, the first round 5 or 7. I'm like, Dad, it's been 20 years. You've asked me this every year. It's 7. It hasn't been 5 since 2002.
That long? I didn't realize it was 2002, man. Holy crap.
Yeah, 0102 was the last time it was best out of 5. Then
so there's people,
I'm like 99 on that. Yeah.
19-year-old people that have no idea of a 5 game.
The best out of 5 was fucking
We're
fun.
Old, man. Yeah, no, it was
crazy.
Because you lose game 1, you were like, oh my God.
Nick seed?
Yeah. No, I know. 1 and 5. I mean, the Knicks weren't a typical 8 seed though. They were like, it was a lockout year and whatever. Still, the Heat were loaded. That was a loaded Heat team.
No, you're right though. You lose that for like the Nets when they went to the finals in 01-02. They lost game 1 to the Pacers, and all of a sudden you're like, all of that. It's almost done. That was scary. The best out of 5, but it was fun. I mean, it was fun.
Yeah, you know what I'm rooting for, and I know you're not rooting for this. You want the path of least resistance, like every team. I'm rooting for the Wizards to face the Nets in the first round because I don't think the Wizards will beat the Nets in the first round, but they will beat them up, and the Wizards are not going to be afraid. Westbrook is not going to be scared. Beal is not going to be scared. No. These guys, if Beal's healthy, I'm sure he'll be fine. But like they're going to go toe to toe. They're going to give him it might go 6. No, it's probably 5, and they'll probably win in 5, but they'll be hard fought games. They're not going to be able to win by 30. If they play the Celtics, they'll punch them in the mouth early. They're hurt. They'll pack it in, be like, whatever, we're in the bubble. We need a vacation. You know what I mean? Like kind of a thing. So
now Washington
I can see that
scares me. They're 18-6 in their last 24 games. The Nets are 15-9 in their last 24 games. The Wizards' schedule hasn't been great. They beat up bad teams, but they're still wins. Westbrook's been on fire. He's been awesome. Yeah, Washington played the Nets very well. I think they went 2-1 versus Brooklyn this year. The Nets swept the Celtics 3-0. To me, it's a no-brainer.
Right.
But you can't again at the same time be like, oh, we got Washington. No, I mean,
take care of business.
Hard, They're gonna play their ass off.
They're gonna win.
You're still. It would. I can already envision like Westbrook and ones and him yelling, and I'm just like, oh.
And Durant loses his cool a little bit, like getting into it with Westbrook and like whatever.
It'd be fun.
Yeah, no, and the Wizards are not a real 8 seed, whatever they are right now. They're not a real 7-8 seed because like they started their season, they missed their first few games with COVID. Westbrook had COVID, and like the whole season just got out of whack, and they were all like had no training camp. They're all thrown together last minute. The Westbrook trade was late. I mean, there was only a 2-week off season, and you know what I mean. It was just kind of like everything was all over the place, and they finally got into their groove in the middle of the season, and they started grooving, and Westbrook became Westbrook again, and it was just like, whoa, like, you know what I mean? Where did this come from? You know, and they had another 10 games. They might have been challenging for the 6th seed if they got to the 82 games. You know what I mean? You never know where it could have been. So it's
scary too, because if
a little
like
scary.
now I'm like, I love the play-in thing. It's gonna be so much fun to watch.
Oh, it's great.
But
I'm like, fall into the pit, the play-in tournament.
The Nets could have just had the Celtics and be done with it. But now they're gonna, they're the 7-8 game, so you never know. Boston can certainly win. I mean, it's not like a
Tatum's that good. Tatum is that good. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're very deep. The Celtics. I saw a lot of their bench players versus the Knicks look great.
For sure. No, they are good.
I'm being a little sarcastic. I don't know half the players that were playing.
No, they were cashing threes though. They were
it was playing with house
Luke
money.
Cornett, bro. Luke Cornett. Yeah. Look out for Luke Cornett, my old friend, my old Knick friend. He was nailing. He had this 3 down the stretch in the game on Sunday. I tweeted out like I tweet out every play, like we were talking about, like we talk about often. And he got the ball in the corner, and Luke Cornett was wide open. I'm like, oh my God, he's nailing this. Like, this is happening. Like, and he missed it. I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, so, I was listening in my car during Uber Eats deliveries. I had 98.7 on, listening to the Knick game, being like, oh my God. Like, I kind of have it on the phone where I see the scores. I was more interested in the Hornets game for seeding or whatever. Yourself. But I see all the scores, and I'm like, Knicks up 15. And then I looked back, I was like, Knicks up 3. Like, what the hell just happened? I was like, let me tune in to hear the end of this.
Yeah, and it's hard because when you're driving, remember, like when back in our day, when we were younger, you're listening to a game in the car, you're like, "What's the score? What's the score?" Like, you know what I mean? You couldn't find out. Now you're like listening to the car, you just pull up an app, and you're like, "Oh, okay, here we go. Let's see what's going on." You're automatically caught up.
Yeah, so, I got to be careful on these apps, because if I watch at home on my Hulu, the app is ahead of the TV. I'll often refer to it because I just want to see, like, read the box score or look at other scores in the league, and then I'll be like, "Ah, shit, the Pacers scored there." Like, and then you're like, it kind of ruins it. There's something fun about, I don't know, seeing it happen and not knowing what's about that.
Right. No, and that's why when there's a game on, and like, let's say I pause it, I gotta go to do laundry, or I went to the bathroom or whatever, and I'm behind a few minutes, I like put my phone like away from me, because sometimes I'd like compulsively check my phone for no reason. Like, there's no reason for me to look at my phone, but I'll look, and somebody might text me or something might pop up, and you know what I mean? And it's just like, it'll ruin a moment, especially on a football Sunday. You're running late. It's like you get home at like 1:30. You're like, you had the game DVR'd, and like you're watching it late, and you catch up by the end of halftime, and like you pull up your phone, I have like 15 text messages, like 4 different people,
Airplane
and it would have ruined
the
game. Yeah.
Airplane mode.
Yeah, and it's weird, man. I don't know. I remember my point, but whatever. I'm excited.
Playoffs,
Knicks are in the playoffs.
Knicks are in the playoffs. They're playing the Hawks. I know you think they'll win, as you should. To answer your question, I don't. I would lean Knicks, just 6. But 6. I would lean Knicks, but I wouldn't be surprised if Atlanta won. I don't think it's like that. I think Atlanta's favored.
Yeah, they're favored, which is good news for the Knicks, because the Knicks have been crushing it on the underdog, as an underdog, this whole year. I have a question for you. Do you think, with the big 3 playing for the Nets in the first round, that they will be able to use 2 basketballs? Because there's only 1 basketball. So I'm curious what you think.
Well, I will tell you that. Did you see the play they had versus the Cavs? The alley.
Yeah, with the Blake Griffin behind the back, threw it down the court and off the backboard.
What do you think as a Knicks fan that hates the Nets seeing that? Were you like, holy shit, that was awesome? Or like, ugh?
I got to tell you, I was in the other room. I had the Nets game on the TV, and I was in the other room. I come back in, and I came back in right after the play happened. I just missed it. And all I hear is I knew go, ah! And I was just like, what just happened? Like, you know what I mean? And I was an athletic feat or whatever he says. I rewound it, and I looked at it. I was like, wow, that was pretty good. I mean, like, I understand why seeing that live would have been like, holy shit! Like, where did that come from?
I yelled, and I don't yell. I yelled.
Yeah, no, that was great. I mean, looking at it, knowing you're about to watch something great, it always takes it down a notch for you. And that's why I'm able to see, like, I try to put myself in the situation in your shoes. And like, yeah, that was crazy. Basketball, especially. If you watch a moment live, it's so much more special to you than when you're like, oh, look at this highlight of this dunk. You're like, oh, okay, that was pretty good. You know what I mean? Right. It's just like, it's rare when a dunk or play in basketball, and when you see it, when you know something great is coming, that you're like, oh my God, that was incredible. I
love too how the Nets went on that 4-game losing streak, and it was like, oh my God, they won 5 in a row, and it's like not even a conversation.
They evened out. Yeah, they evened out everything.
They won 5 in a row. They're 10-4 in the last 14 with a 4-game losing streak mixed in. That's bizarre.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's
It's
crazy.
just because the regular season is meaningless. Besides getting the 2 seed, thank God.
Well, now you don't care about the regular season anymore. That's it. It was who cares? The regular season's over.
Doesn't
Nets fans
matter.
are back to not caring.
Dude, the 2 is big for the Nets.
No, it is. It is.
I know we're talking about Washington, but would you want to go play Miami? And then if you were winning that series, I guess, get the most likely the Bucks. The Bucks.
No, I was kidding.
Well, the Nets and Knicks play each other would be in the Eastern Conference Finals.
No, I know. I was just
that
kidding.
would be, and that would be amazing. I mean, that would be amazing.
It would be.
It would be.
That would be
That'd be amazing.
Craziness. That would be actually like the craziest thing we could ever imagine.
Yeah.
The level of anxiety for both of us in that series. I think for Knicks fans, like I'm saying this now, like I'm not in the moment, but like if we get the Eastern Conference Finals and it's like, holy shit, like what are we doing here? You know what I mean? Like kind of a moment. Yeah, like, kind of a moment. Like this is all house money, but like when you're in the series, you're like, no, we want to win. But for the Nets and playing the Knicks, like, oh my God, if we don't win this series, the Knicks are in the fucking finals. And like we just had the super team and the Knicks got to the fucking finals over us by beating us. Like that is the ultimate disaster. That's when I'm like, you better win this season. That's why I keep saying that.
As you bring up
something the drastic happens. It's gonna be bad.
You bring up a good point, and maybe this will be full picture on everything, and we can move along and then get to the poll question. But you bring up a good point that I think is fascinating is the Knick fan has had so much fun this year because it's been unexpected and all of the things, right? The Nets were supposed to be good. This is the Nets' best percentage win season in their franchise's history. Wow. Yet it still feels unfulfilled because it's not that big of a deal based on the roster. So what I guess I'm trying to say is it's like I'm watching the Knicks. They're having so much fun. You're enjoying the moment. For the Nets, this has been as exciting as it was to get everybody. And this is not anything to do with they're not real Nets. There's one mission. So it's just not enjoyable because there's only one goal. And until we get there, until the Nets get there.
It's a we.
I know. Yeah. I hate doing that. Until the Nets get there, it's like you can't enjoy the 2 seed. You can't enjoy the ride if they beat Washington. It's just gonna be like you can't enjoy Nets.
It's a relief. It's a relief.
It's just okay, good. That one's out of the way. And until they win the title, there's no joy.
Yeah, no.
I should say no joy, but that it'll be good. Trust me, it'll be the ultimate. But there's not this like, oh my God, we are the 4 seed excitement that you get. And that in many ways I'm jealous of. But I know I say that, but I know here we are, one mission, one goal, boom, let's get it. But that's, it's just all it is just making sure the hell doesn't happen. And as opposed to, it's the relief. You're right. There's just one big relief thing. And there's no like enjoying moments, which sucks.
Yeah. And it won't be enjoyable. I mean, like, I hear what you're saying. I can't say I've ever been there as like you with a team that was that stacked. I can't even think of a situation in any one of my teams where I'm like, this is our year. You know what I'm saying? Like 2006 with the Mets, kinda, but not really. You know what I mean? Like it was never like a super team. You know what I mean? Like it was in baseball's not like that either. You know what I mean? Like the Jets in '99, I'm like, oh, here we go, and then Vinny gets hurt right away, and it's just like, we had a nice run with Lucas and whatever. But it's just like there's I've never had that situation, so I can't even comment on what you're feeling right now. I've never had the situation where we're in '94 for the Knicks. I was still kind of young, but I remember we were coming in as the best team. But like I don't have that feeling like anxiety. It was just still like, oh my God, I'm enjoying this. This is so fun. Like I can't believe Jordan's not here. We have this chance. So it was almost like we got to get it in before he comes back. So I don't know how you feel, man. Honestly, I can't help
I'm excited.
I can't be here for you. I can't.
I'm excited. I'm very excited. I know I sound like you sound really
It's your turn. That's what you got to think about. It's your turn. This is your turn. This is your turn to be the team, to be the hated team, to be the guy, to be that super team. You're the Warriors, you're the Cavs, you're the Lakers,
But a lot of uncertainty.
A lot. And those teams didn't always win. I mean, like that's the thing,
True. Of course. And no guarantees. There's good teams all around that can take them off. I know that.
You gotta get it this year.
I'm not cocky about that.
And I've been saying it since the beginning. You gotta get it this year. Because if they go to the finals and lose in 7 or something like that, they'll be fine. But if they lose somehow before or they get embarrassed in the finals, this whole situation you got going on here,
We're not
it could
doing this.
really.
I'm not doing this conversation.
All right. We'll table that. I've said that to you
Table
before.
it.
We'll just
Table
put that up on the shelf, like elf on the shelf. Like there
Put
we
it
go.
on there. Put it on there.
More Santa
Put it on there.
stuff.
Yeah. And there's somebody that listens to this show that'll get me like the Nets always seem to find a way. At some point, teams win. The Cubs won a championship. The Cavs won. The Red Sox won. And the Nets have a bigger fan base than all those teams. So no, I'm saying the point is, at some point things get through. Nothing's
never my turn. It's never my turn though. But my teams have won championships in their history, so it's like we've already had our time. So now we got to wait another 70 years, I guess. You know what I mean? I've never seen a championship. I was 2 years old in '86. That doesn't count.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I was 3. I saw the Giants twice. Those were tremendous.
Yeah. And you had Syracuse, right?
I had Syracuse with Melo freshman year. The Giants 07 one. You can't beat that.
Mm-hmm. No, that was. But that was a kind of a New York championship in a way. I mean, like there was nobody in New York rooting for the Patriots. You know what I mean? Like that was
right.
like.
Well, I can't.
That was like
the Jet fan was like, "Fuck it."
I was into it. I was at the helmet catch. I'm like jumping.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like I was like at my height of hate Patriot stuff, especially with the Spygate shit that year, and it was
Perfect
just like.
Record.
Yeah, it was like all lose because throughout the whole season, everybody's like lose, and then after a while, you're like, you know what? It'd be great if they got to the Super Bowl and lost. Like that would be hilarious. Like you know what I mean? And
it happened.
Yeah.
All right, Alex, you want to do jerseys? You want to give the poll question? What do you want?
Last episode we did the poll question first. What do you think? Do you think that was better or worse or
I have no
what
idea.
do you think? Okay, so let's do the poll question first. Let's try that again. We'll see. Let us know.
I'm pulling
at Mike
up
Delivers
numbers.
Pod.
I am listening.
At Knicks Central. Okay. So Knicks fans, if the Knicks beat the Hawks in the playoffs, how many games will it take? 4 or 5, 6 or 7? Which one do you think
won? Answer based on our conversation.
You are correct. 6, because that is the number you do when you don't have no idea or have any feeling for the series. You just say, it's evenly matched. Knicks could win at 6. You know what I mean? So the 6 was 53%, 7 was 19%, 5 was 23.6%, and 4 was 4.1%. So, man, 4 would be wild. I mean, biggest disaster that can kind of ruin this season if the Knicks get swept. Like that can really put they lose in 5, 6, 7. You know what I mean? It'll be upsetting, but it's like, you know what? We had a great run. Like, nobody thought we'd get this far.
None of these teams are sweeping the other one. I think it's
no. It would have to be some kind of injury, and then it's like you're not even as upset because you're like, we got hurt. Like, what the fuck?
What's the difference? Yeah.
God forbid.
The Nick Hawk game from
whatever last month,
a month ago when the Hawks were up a little, and then Young got hurt, and then the Knicks had a lead, and then the Hawks tied it. It went to overtime, and then the Knicks pulled away in OT. That was a really competitive, good game. And then Young went out, and the Knicks did what they had to do and won. But you could just see back and forth,
they're even
Trey,
teams.
You're gonna
man.
get.
It's
you're
gonna be a series.
I
already hate him.
So annoyed with him.
He's not an enjoyable player to watch. Like nobody, I don't see anybody that goes sits down. It's like I want to watch Trey Young today. Like it's just like chucking up threes and getting to the line. Like it's just like it's like a mixture of all the worst traits of James Harden, which makes him great because he gets to the line all the time, and being like not as good as Steph Curry, but being Steph Curry. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like chucking up threes and going to the line. I'm already tired of him. I hope he anyway. I hope he loses. So anyway, we get a couple shout outs. We have Ty Star TV. He's at Ty Star TV. He goes, the Hawks are hot right now, so I wouldn't start taking them lightly. I still believe the Knicks are a better team, no bias, and should wrap this up in how many games, Mike? Come on, 6.
I
didn't want to say it?
I said it. I whispered it. I was trying to be sexy.
Oh, you whispered it. I'm sorry.
Okay. I'm trying to look up my roster numbers, and you didn't hear me. I was like, I said 6 games.
Oh, I didn't see it. I had the window over your face, so I couldn't see you, and I was trying to listen. So anyway, that was terrible. But anyway, then we have our boy Bobo Anderson. He's at Ann Freilich. He goes, really nervous about this series. We're not holding on to leads or putting teams away. We're not executing in the fourth quarter like we should probably due to fatigue. Still, I think we steal game 6 in Atlanta to close the series.
It's funny though. I'm glad he brought up this comment because I was thinking about this. The Knicks are winning the games that they were losing earlier in the year. The Minnesota game, more the Philly game. Now all of a sudden it was like Knicks crunch time pulled it out versus the Hornets. I know the Celtic roster was a disaster, but pulled it out versus the Celtics. All the games that they were losing, they turned into W. So I know I hear you in that fear of, oh my God, we're barely winning these games. But that's the difference on how the Knicks started getting all these W's. Those losses turned to wins, and they learned from those experiences.
It's true.
Analysis from the Nets fan.
There you go, man. See, and the other thing that the genius part about the play-in tournament that might have been accidentally genius by the NBA is that NBA teams are trying their hardest by the end of the season to get to 6th and above, right?
Yeah.
They don't have to worry about resting and because they have a week off. Like, so all these teams are busting their ass at the end of the season. Now they have like an all-star break until Saturday or whenever it starts, Friday or Saturday. And yeah, so like RJ Barrett gets the rest. He looks fatigued. Julius Randle gets a much needed rest. All of these guys. So you're going to have your freshest players and your biggest stars all rested, ready to go.
Yeah, and the Nets only played 10 games. So, I mean, there's no excuses. They rested the whole season.
Yeah, exactly.
It's go time. Time to play minutes.
And didn't stagger their injuries, right? They didn't stagger their injuries.
What's the next one?
So then we have Ant. He's at Anthony the Don. He goes 5. Trae Young isn't getting the same whistle in the playoffs, and Tibbs has the team playing at that pace already. Also, Tibbs is greater than McMillan as far as playoff experience.
Shout out Ant on your deliveries, man. Keep it rolling.
Yeah, and then we have Rich Scan. He's at Rich_Scan. He says if. That's all his comment is. So like he's guaranteeing a Knicks playoff series win. Then we have Just Goose. He's at Just Goose 6 or she. Forever. I hate Atlanta. Knicks in 4. Okay, that's a little optimistic, but hey, listen, he could be, he or she could be right. I don't know if Just Goose. Sorry to Just Goose family, But anyway, so then we have Ersin Demir. He's at Sir Ersin Demir. ERSIN The Hawks are vulnerable against strong defenses. I think we'll beat them in 5. Interesting.
Why don't you put on the poll or a Hawks win or anything like that?
Because there's only 4 options and it was perfect 4, 5, 6, 7. So I don't make the rules here, man. So
you could have done like Hawks win series 4-5. You could have figured it out yourself.
Yeah, but it would have been a lot. This is too many. Then you're going down the road of like all the different scenarios. The number thing that you learn in school, like how many different ways can you put these 4 numbers? Anyway,
I got you.
So. Then we have our boy Maurice Moten. He's at Mo Moten, the Raiders writer, big Knicks fan from Bleacher Report. He's on the show a couple episodes ago. He goes, Knicks in 7. Be ready to be entertained. Honestly, that doesn't sound very entertaining. That sounds very stressful. Actually,
well, it's going to be stressful.
It'll be entertaining if they win in 7, but a 7-game series is just like, holy crap, that's really rough.
Twists and turns, man. Oh God,
I'll take it. I'll take it over.
Oh my God,
I'll take it over praying for the lottery. Yes, I know.
Oh, elimination games and playoffs are scary.
They are. That's why this play-in tournament. We have LeBron and Steph in this play-in tournament. That's crazy.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. So we're gonna two games of LeBron or 2 games of Steph this week, which is crazy in a play-in tournament.
And how about then for like the Suns or Jazz? Get the Lakers.
Yeah, ridiculous. Especially the Suns. They got to be like, holy crap! Like, we're finally having this good year, and then we're getting freaking LeBron and AD in the first round. Like, you couldn't.
Crazy.
I mean, the West is rough no matter what,
But still, I mean, you're expecting to play Memphis.
Yeah, a team like that, or New Orleans. Yeah,
exactly. Dallas or something, but not getting that. It's nuts.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's the poll question. So now the next
I got jerseys
segment.
For you.
Jersey number trivia. We used to do every episode. We would name a player on each team. I would pick a Nets player. Mike would have to name it. He would pick a Knicks player. But now we're in the 60s, so there are obviously no 60s. So we'll pick a random number and go from there. You want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I got a really difficult one for you.
Okay, go for
it. This is number. I lost the number. Number 11.
Derek Harper.
No, but he is number 11. He played 1 year with the Knicks in 2011. He played 5 games, didn't
Corey
start.
Brewer.
Nope.
He
went to my alma mater.
Ronnie Brewer. Ronnie Brewer?
No, he went to my alma mater. You're not getting this. This is terrible on me. Wow, I really made this hard. I didn't go to
Syracuse. Damn, how do I not know that? 11? 2011? 11.
11 and 11.
I don't know what number he was, but Ronny Turioff? No, not him. He wouldn't go to
Andy
Syracuse.
Rowdens.
Oh my
That's
God! I
impossible.
should have known that.
That was tough.
Oh
No, you're not
God!
good enough as a Knicks fan to know that.
I should have known that, man. The Andy and Landry show. Did you know about that? When Andy
No,
Rattins
I
and
did not
Landry
know.
Fields, they had a show on
It's,
MSG that was like a short show.
Was it good?
They were actually pretty funny. Landry Fields is actually a funny dude, and like they were best friends, and they would just go around and like prank on people and things like that. It was funny. I can't believe I didn't know that. I was mad at that draft because the Knicks had 2 seconds, right?
Yeah.
And I forgot who they picked the other one, but like Lance Stevenson is sitting there, and I know Lance Stevenson is like, and they picked Andy Rowtons. I forgot who else they picked in that draft. It's gonna piss me off now. There were that two opportunities to pick him. I think at that point, I said Andy Rowtons. They had 2 opportunities to draft him. I think the Knicks were kind of scarred from the Lincoln High School grads from the Marbury days. They just got out of that. They're like, we're not going back down this road again. You know what I mean? Forget this.
Yeah.
But okay, so here we go. 2010 NBA draft.
There's the heads up where my eyes are.
Oh, they picked Andy and Landry. So like they picked Andy Rowtons and Landry Fields back to back, and then Lance Stevenson went the next pick to Indiana, and he was dominating them for a couple of years. But
yeah, well, I mean
anyway.
that would have been something.
That would have been crazy. Another Lincoln High School guy. They would just got out of like that. That was like. I'm convinced. I don't know this for sure, but that was a Marbury. Like we just got through this stench of Lincoln High School. Like I can't deal with this again. You know, I can't prove it, obviously, and I don't blame the Knicks for feeling that way. He was a mess towards the end. So anyway, go ahead.
Like when people go on dates, when you know it's like your one girlfriend is one way, or a girlfriend to one boyfriend's the other way, and then they go in a different direction. There's like, oh, he was so wild. They go with the quiet, reserved person. You know, it's like you just get stuck in that moment. You kind of go in a different direction, even if you might miss the love of your life. I don't know. Anyway, I got another one for you. It's this one's a good one, but if you want to go now, and then
all right. No, you're not gonna get that one. The 18th is the 18th. Ben Uzo. You and like no, that's so. Let's go to a different one. Let's see.
I'm really excited for the next one. Really excited.
Let's see.
This is the most excited I've been for any one I've given you.
Oh, good one. Number 7 on the Nets.
Kenny Anderson.
No, not Kenny Anderson.
Only
played 1 year for the New Jersey Nets.
1 game.
1 year. Oh, not even 1 year. He played 5 games.
Okay, 5 games.
I'm sorry. Well, he played a long career, really long career. He played in the NBA for
Ron Mercer.
from 98 through 2012.
Wait, say the years again?
98 through 2012.
98 through 12. He was in the league a while.
A long time.
What year?
I can give one hint, but it'll blow. You'll be able to guess.
Don't give me that hint. What year was he with the Nets, or is that the hint?
1998-99. He played 5 games. I don't know why.
Rookie year, you're saying?
Yeah, I don't know if he was drafted by the Nets. Looks like he was undrafted. Went to Eastern Michigan. 13 years in the NBA.
Oh fuck! Yes, God, it's right there. Damn it! The Eastern Michigan helped. For the love of God! Damn it! Oh crap! 98.
He played on the Nuggets, Bucks,
Robert
Clippers.
Pack.
Nope. Everything's Robert Pack. Nuggets, Bucks, Clippers, Warriors, Wizards, Cavs, Hornets, or what was it? What else they were? The Bobcats. I don't know if it was Bobcats. Rockets, Nets, and Magic.
So he came back to the Nets.
No, it was Nets first.
Oh my God. Eastern Michigan is there. I can feel it, but I can't get there. You give the big clue away?
He was 5'5".
Okay, Earl Boykins.
There you go. That's the big clue. That was the easy one. That was the.
I do remember Earl. Yeah. Oh man, I didn't know what number he was. I'll be honest. I mean, I remember Earl Boykins.
Yeah, he was around the NBA forever. Yeah,
man, I forgot that. Damn it.
He was a good player, man. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, no, that was a good one by you. I think he was undrafted.
We're both really good fans. That if we did the easy ones, we'll nail in a second. You got to be obscure in order to really get this.
Yeah, that was. I know that one fan that listens to this podcast. But I knew that in a second.
Oh, yeah. DJT.
All right, number 14 for the Knicks.
14, Anthony Mason.
Not Mace. We won't go with him. But he played for the Knicks.
Pele.
Who?
Pele.
He's on the Knicks now. 3 years. He's got like a really famous moment with the Knicks. It's kind of
What years?
Not famous.
A notable moment.
Notable. I wouldn't say famous. It's not like a Ewing thing or a Starks thing, but like
something I know.
Something
I
you
know.
definitely know. He played with the Knicks from 97 to 2000, 3 years. And it's just like another clue. He did play for the Nets also.
It's not Anthony Mason. Didn't we say that?
No, Mason. No.
He played for the Nets too, right? I mean,
Anthony Mason did not.
I thought he did. But anyway, 97 through 2000, number 14.
Yeah. And he's got a moment. He has an iconic moment. Not iconic's not the right word. He has a famous moment for the Knicks, and it's with a player on another team. It's one of the greatest in the history of the sport. Yep.
Chris Dudley, nice, my boy. There we go. I got it.
You know what play I'm talking about.
Yeah, where he threw the ball at Shaq after Shaq dunked on him and pushed him. Yeah.
Shaq dunked
it's a famous gift
dry humps him.
Yeah. It's like, that game was wild. That was a random Sunday matchup in the regular season. Knicks Lakers, both good teams, great teams at the time, and that was the game where Childs punched Kobe. And then that moment happened with Dudley and Shaq. And there's so many I think Kurt Thomas got kicked out of that game. There was some other kind of fight in that game too. Like it was just like some wild Sunday afternoon that has these memorable moments that are timeless now. You know what I mean? It's just wild.
Yeah, no, that's Chris Dudley. Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Alex, we should probably call it.
I want to know if Anthony Mason played for the Nets, because I really think he did, at least with a backup. He did. 21 games to the Nets in 89-90, so before your time. So, yeah.
My bad. My bad.
Come on, bro. I know my Anthony Mason. That's my guy. Rest in peace. Anyway, the only number 14 in Knicks history that anybody should notable. So, not really the only one, because Pele has it now. Pele, whatever. Who cares? Anyway.
Bad Weather
That's the podcast.
I'm just going to cut you off. This is Bad Weather Fans, episode number 62 with Mike and Alex. Go back, check out the other ones. We've got a good interview coming up for you next time. We'll be joined by Zach Gelb from CBS Sports Radio. He's got his own show there, national
The Great.
And you can hear him also, too, on The Fan, WFAN in New York. He's done some good stuff filling in there as well. So we'll talk to Zach. That'll be fun. That's going to come out in the middle of the week. So check it out. A little extra content here of Bad Weather Fans. Guys, if you're listening, find this on YouTube. Type in Bad Weather Fans. You can see the video. Subscribe. Tell everybody about it. Share it. Enjoy it. Alex, we'll talk to Zach a little later in the week, and then shit's here. It's playoff time.
And then it's go time. It's go time.
Big 50.
Have a good one.